Greetings and welcome to this week's episode of Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon. Before we begin, I'd like to make a few announcements. First, we are proud to announce that Sabbat the Schism is officially out now. Not only does it delve into the history and lore of the sect, it opens up multiple role-playing options for fans of the game, including new playable clans, elder-level powers, and much more. You can find your own copy of Sabbat the Schism in the link below. Second, I'd like to thank RS Experiments, our local musical talent, for graciously providing the custom music you've been enjoying so far, including our awesome main theme song called Haven Dweller. If you enjoy any of the music used during the stream, and you'd like to hear more, you can find a full library of Mark's work by clicking the link below to RS Experiments' SoundCloud page. Lastly, if you enjoyed tonight's session and you'd like to see more, be sure to follow both our channels. You can catch us live most Sundays at 7 p.m. CET by tuning in to youtube.com/@RSAGames or at twitch.tv/RSAGames. Alternatively, you can enjoy all our recorded sessions on YouTube. Links below. Remember to like, subscribe, and be sure to leave us feedback and suggestions in the comments below. We hope you enjoy the session. And without further ado, let us delve into the world of darkness in tonight's episode of Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon. The sun sets over LA. As the city goes to sleep and nightlife begins, two Canaanites rouse from their sleep within the haven. Serena opens her eyes to see the polished white ceiling plagued with small bits of vivid red moss left over by Cecil, and looks around the room to see formerly Cecil, now Olivia, examining their hand.
I assume no good news as usual?
On the contrary, actually.
Really? How so?
Olivia turns, showing you the hand, and the previously blackened flesh seems to be not fully healed, but more healed than before.
That's strange. Has anything happened?
Not to my knowledge, but I'm sure I'll be informed if something does change.
Mhm. So, could the hand situation have been not connected to the tower?
I'm not sure. Go fetch Jack. Maybe he has some answers.
I could draw a card.
I wouldn't mind.
All right, I'll go fetch Jack. Um, and Serena exits the room and heads out to see if Jack's awake.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Jack, you,
Mhm.
as you rouse yourself from sleep and look to your makeshift alchemy table, you notice that your samples are all still there. Only the vacuum sealed sample that you left on one side of the table seems to have moved enough to fall on the floor. And just as you notice this, the observation is interrupted by knocking at the door.
Come in.
Jack, um,
Yes.
um, Olivia wishes to speak to you. Perhaps you'll have some insight. I mean, I'll be providing insight with my usual glance into the patterns of the world, but perhaps you'd have some
Okay.
mystical insight. And
Okay.
as they
Sure.
walk back to the room, Serena's like, it seems that the rotting of the flesh that affected one of his hands has starting to become better
We
on its
didn't do
own.
much.
No, Olivia thought that it was connected to
Hmm.
the tower,
The
but
tower as in the tower they make, or the tower
yes,
as in...
yes.
Hmm.
But perhaps it's not after all. Either
We'll see.
way, he's interested in your insight. Mm.
Sure.
And I'm going to draw a few cards.
Mm-hmm. Roll for it, please.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, Jack, as you wait for Serena as she shuffles the cards.
I mean, I do it once we go back into like our
Oh,
room
okay.
with.
Okay. Well, as you head downstairs, you hear the rooftop access door jiggle at first, and then open. And as you do, heavy footsteps announce exactly who made his way there.
Interesting. He showed up too. Oh. Yeah, well, we're probably like already in Serena's room, right?
Well, we went to where Olivia was.
Yeah. So
Was
that was
she?
either the living room or your room.
Yeah. Well, Miguel said we went to the living room, so.
Miguel, you're mute.
Yeah, Olivia seems to have moved to the living room. And as the footsteps from the rooftop are heard, Olivia looks to the both of you coming down the stairs and asks, "Someone we know?"
Larry?
I guess Larry.
Make sure, we haven't seen him in a while.
Mm.
You and me.
Well, Serena's already like shuffling cards in front of the table.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Like to the second floor.
Yeah. As you go up the stairs and you turn the corner to the roof access door, you see Larry sort of scooching over and getting his wings in the building.
Oh, hello, Jack.
Hello.
Why are you so grim?
It is kind of what I look like. Look, I'm gonna be completely honest. We haven't seen you in like, what, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? So, riddle me that. When Larry brought his bird to our haven, what did I ask him?
Why are you talking about me in the third person?
Because you might be not Larry.
Oh,
So,
per.
but if you prefer, what did
I
I
don't
ask
know.
you?
You told some shit about the bird being not appropriate to this place. I told you to shut the fuck up. Mm. Don't remember much about it.
Does it look like he lies?
No signs of
Or he just
lying.
doesn't remember? I asked you, why was the bird one of your higher priorities? But
Oh.
regardless, you seem to be you. Took you a while though.
Nice to meet you too.
Mm-hmm. So it took you a while. You
Well,
wanna share?
Later, perhaps. Where
Okay.
are everybody?
Olivia and Serena are downstairs. Abel is Abel, and Jasper is in Europe.
What the fuck is it doing over there
Studying the past,
in Europe?
apparently.
Well, wish him luck, I guess. Okay.
Knowing who the teacher is, he doesn't need luck. I'll go
Shall we go?
downstairs I'll go down in a second. I need to grab some samples. And I'll
Okay.
grab the PD mix infusion I made and Olivia's blood infusion that I made.
Mm-hmm. As you descend down the stairs, you see that Serena finishes shuffling the cards. And as she does, you see her draw the first card. The card seems to show the image of an angel and two chalices with flowing liquid between them. Seem to have drawn temperance upright. If you don't say anything, I can give you the second result.
Yes.
Okay. As you draw the second card, you are met with the image of someone, a woman, in very, very expensive-looking clothing with plenty of accessories. You seem to have drawn the Empress. Upright.
Empress. Okay. So, I'm gonna draw a third card for clarification on the Empress.
Mm-hmm.
As in, more like another clarifying card. So it's like the same question, but like something to give
Okay.
more.
You draw another card, and you are met by the image of an incredibly tall tree from which hangs a rope, and at the end of the rope, a man. For a second, you swear you see the man might only have one eye, but seems to just have been your imagination. And you have drawn the hanged man upright.
And um and that's all very vague. So Serena's gonna do Eyes of Chaos on these three.
Alright, you may roll for it. As you sit down and focus, Olivia looks to the others who have just joined with a bit of concern and says, well, that can't be good.
What exactly can be good?
Usually, after drawing the cards, she begins prattling on about the results.
Yeah,
She's meditating. Okay.
What?
I
One success.
understand not much more about Malkavians than you do.
Something to correct in the future, I'm sure. And
Indeed.
Serena, as you focus and allow your mind to drift, you find yourself not falling as usual, but this time you almost instinctively allow your hand to fall to your side. And as you do, instead of the wooden floor you expected, you feel the light touch of grass. You open your eyes, and around you, you see a field of dead lambs. Bats seem to feed on the lambs. A plague of them, in fact. And while most of the bats are black, a few of them are pale, albino. As you examine the bats, you notice one of them seems to writhe in pain, at which point it begins biting its own wing off. As the wing falls to the floor, the bat continues to feed as if nothing ever happened. Yet the wing begins to form into a new bat. And almost out of instinct, you begin to approach the bat, trying to examine it closer. And as you look into its eyes, it's not the same as the other bat. It looks different somehow. There are patches on its fur. Some are brown, some are black. But the most striking thing is the bat's eyes. Its eyes are pitch black and bleed this acidic blood that almost dissolves the skin as it flows down the creature's face. And as you see this, you sort of jolt awake in the middle of the living room.
Okay. So, mm, I mean, my first question was whether this new trend, is now like consistent. So now everything's like the hand is gonna become better. Hmm. I guess patience, like everything in temperance. So it's not a no, but I suppose patience, and it will. But the second thing I've asked was like, what development caused this change in progression? And when I drew this card, Empress, it's a bit like it confused me because it's a card denoting motherhood, fertility, like nature, this sort of like Aphrodite, Freya, as a creator goddess, that. So I asked the clarification. And I got the Hanged Man, but more of like, in the term of Odin's, like the Hanged Man represents Odin, who sacrificed an eye of his and hung for years, crucified on the tree of, on Yggdrasil, to gain secret knowledge. That, too, in a sense, was vague, until I've looked at it through the eyes of chaos. And this is where Serena looks to Olivia and is like, given your special circumstances and your clan's special circumstances, I sort of say, like, maybe it had something to do with Jasper?
Are you certain?
Because, well, no, I'm not certain. It's something that you or the higher, your founder could know, but think about it. If vicissitude is also them, then wouldn't Jasper, as somebody with it and of your clan, given that he fell into the river Styx, if there's like a level of synchronization and, that through the flesh, wouldn't his special circumstances be potentially also reflecting on the eldest and thus also on you, since now you're so close? And perhaps even because you've consumed Voldery with him. Because in the vision there was a bat whose like wing it chewed off. And there was some form of transformation, but it had, like how the specters have those pitch black eyes? But it had that, and the tears from those eyes were pouring out and like corroding the face. The affliction that Jasper suffers with his flesh after that. Wouldn't basically him, like how in nature, and Serena looks to the Empress card, if a tree has a branch affected by some disease, it can spread to the rest. Him falling into Styx and then coming back out, that could also affect the eldest, and thus you.
I see. So what you're saying is Jasper's incident reverberated to me?
And perhaps
somehow?
now that he went, well, it will reverberated from the eldest to you, or maybe because of the Voldery, But either way, the hanged man is like Odin. He learned hidden like knowledge. He went through a quest to achieve it. And that was like the clarification I asked. So like the most logical thing, or like what development caused this change in progression, it was nature. It was a natural thing that happened, right? Because motherhood fertility doesn't really suit here, does it? But it also denotes a queen, a ruler of a line, like a dynasty and so on. But the hanged man, Jasper, who spent 70 years in the Shadowlands, fell into the Styx, lost something of that. He's very suited to that, and especially like it was because of the vision, because without that it was but the fact that he did go away, and this is something that happened now, as he was gone, while we didn't finish the tower, we didn't use it for what you thought, like there was nothing that you did or I did or anything else, like that is the only like relevant things like that cards could like imply. And with the vision, who knows?
Hey.
I mean, I suppose maybe the eldest would be more aware of that metaphysics. But just the same way that I was able to affect the entire clan when I sent a message to them, just the same way that half of us at some point lost dementation, changes like that, they go down through that web we share, the hive mind, so to say. But ours is mental. But here, vicissitude, it's a physical one, so the principle of as above, so below, I'm sure, matters.
I'll need to think about this. It's a theory, but I'm not entirely sure how that would work. Perhaps some research is needed.
I mean,
And
I will I will personally admit that
one moment.
This is a reach. I will personally admit this is a reach,
Serena,
even for my
one
usual
moment.
divinations. Yeah.
So as you speak, you hear the front door open, and Leo walks in with something bundled up in what looks like some very dusted cloth held together with ropes. And he walks up to Jack and hands it to him. Proceed.
Anything specific from the sender? Name, for example?
As Leo begins to answer, he stops, pauses, and seems to look confused for a moment. I am not sure who the sender was. I know I got it. I must have gotten it while I was in Europe. I did get on the plane with it.
Okay. Very well. On your way then.
Of course. Leo begins to walk away.
That it was like usually my divinations have a bit more precise questions. Motives. Is this like positive, negative, like what effect, consequences, scaries, or like something like that, right? whether allied with Talmahara. So even though it's yes or no questions, or like more or less in that vibe, it's a bit more specific, while this entire divination was rather broad.
Hmm.
Because I'm literally asking, it's the same as me asking, what happened here?
I see.
While the cards reply cryptically. It can be interpreted in many ways, but it's because of the vision, because like of the bats and like the type of bats that they were, and like one type of bats was lost a limb, so to say, and then was a bit like as if affected by some disease or something. And that's why I thought Jasper, because he's learning right now. He is on a quest for knowledge like Odin was.
But wouldn't that... And as Olivia speaks, there's a pause. And there's a shift in their expression. Almost like this jolt of unexpected pain. And then Olivia turns to the room, like your bedroom, and says,
Mm-hmm.
"What the hell?"
What
Iris
happened?
instantly, like, because paranoia and past bad experiences, she just rushes to the room,
Mm-hmm.
ready to fight.
Serena, you open the door, and you sleep in this room. You wake up every night in this room. You know damn well what this room looks like. And while it does have this almost omnipresent plague of vivid red moss growing all over the place, you definitely remember that the ceiling didn't have a growth this big.
Serena
It's...
calls out to...
Hold
Wait.
on. Hold on.
Serena calls out to Olivia, "Honey, I think your moss is growing a tumor."
Olivia seems frozen in place. And this thing on the ceiling seems to grow quite alarmingly rapidly. It grows until it's almost bigger in volume than Cecil was before his change. So very, very big. And it seems to almost pulsate. It oozes this vivid red moss that falls to the ground and creates small puddles. And the whole time, Olivia seems to almost fall to one knee and even has to brace on the couch to maintain balance.
Does it look like the boss is giving birth?
Looks very weird. You're not quite
Iris
certain.
is definitely thinking like, I think the moss is giving birth. Honey, are you experiencing birth pains or something?
Olivia doesn't seem aware enough to answer.
I don't
Yes.
think they're gonna answer. The fuck is going on?
Well, it's moss, eldest moss, so I'm
So whatever.
pretty sure. Well, I'm pretty sure that whatever it is, it's but it definitely looks like a giant womb right now. fitting, like it's the size of somebody, like there can be a person inside of it. I think it is a person. It's gonna be a person.
So, who of you is gonna be a dad?
Well, probably it's Zimitsa.
How does it mean?
As you speak, the sludge that seems to fall on the floor and has been falling this entire time eventually begins to shift in color. It darkens slightly, almost as if it's coagulated, becomes sort of a dark brown. And just as that happens, this growing lump of moss begins to burst, and this almost lump of flesh falls to the floor. And as it rises, it begins to stretch into this humanoid shape that you do not recognize. It looks horrific, and as you look to it, you see it open its eyes and stretch its limbs. It seems to have two long limbs where the arms would be, and two smaller ones that seem to stretch from its gut. The legs are misshapen, long, similar to yours in a way, Serena, but different at the same time. And three odd protrusions burst out of its back as it stretches, moving almost independent of each other.
By the way, I had a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, we share vinculum, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Iris is a psychic, and she has been sharing vinculum for a while. Does she feel a vinculum connection to this person?
Roll perception awareness.
Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
No.
Hmm. Serena looks to the person and is like, "Hello. How may we help you?"
Why, Serena? It is good to see you again.
Does Serena recognize the voice?
No, it's completely unrecognizable.
Um. Does she have like some does the person have like any other like traits of the body, like like the stick's flesh or something that she recognizes?
Doesn't seem so.
Hmm.
Not immediately. You probably would have to open this person to check.
Well, she's going to check the aura then.
Sure. Roll for it.
Mm-hmm. Well, no.
Yeah, no. Sorry.
I'm sorry, but my senses certainly do not recognize you. And you are in our pack's haven, so...
Of course, I'm in my own haven. Why else would they come back?
Jasper?
In the flesh.
Oh, interesting. I couldn't feel a vinculum to you. Were you you must have been really altered.
I did some changes, that is indeed true, though. Why the vernaculum isn't strong, that is another question that I ponder. But anyway, allow me to, well, go to my room and properly dress. Wouldn't want to stay in
Sorry,
this mess.
yes,
I
but
also ask for forgiveness by my messy entrance.
no, but I think you've literally just confirmed my reach at the divination.
Mm,
Um, Either way, I do think that perhaps whatever process you underwent, I think it has erased the vinculum.
Is that so?
Well, I couldn't perceive it in you. Can you still perceive the vinculum to me?
What role is it again?
Perception awareness,
Perception,
please.
awareness.
Does aspects count to it?
I don't
No.
believe so, no.
The 2 successes.
You feel something, a faint echo of what used to be a vinculum. More as if it was not broken, but severely lessened during your absence.
Not that it's broken, Serena. It's been lessened. Perhaps maybe from my time staying far away from all of you all.
Yeah.
But it
y-
is still there. Faint.
Oh. Okay, maybe whatever you underwent made it difficult for me to recognize it or perceive it. Either way, not something new. But Serena looks back to Olivia and looks like, does she look better?
Olivia seems to be essentially sat on the couch, sort of curled up and shaking.
Yeah, Serena's gonna go to her and be like, well, I'll leave you to refresh. But did your curse, by the way, from the sticks get alleviated or something?
Not that I can sense it.
No, the rotting of the flesh.
It's still there. Perhaps because I added more muscle mass to my body, it's lessened a little bit, but I haven't lost it, I believe.
Well, it seems you did undergo a metamorphosis. We're here debating whether it was your blood's presence in the Voldery that affected Olivia's hand.
Perhaps not. We could do some testings to figure it out if you want.
Well,
He looks
did
to
you
Olivia.
did you give up something, by the way? Like, because
What
I'm
do
pretty
you
sure you're the hanged man. Odin, who gave up an eye to gain knowledge on the Yggdrasil. Well, actually, don't answer that. Did you successfully learn the path Are you now one of us?
Indeed. I have
Well then,
learned the tradition of our clan, Spec.
well then, I personally know what you have to give up. Not that it was a big loss in the first place.
Indeed, so.
I wasn't quite as attached to my humanity as you were.
Mm, Now that I ponder on it, it just seemed like a child's wish to continue to stay the same instead of seeing what needed to be done.
Serena smiles very brightly at him. Exactly. It is. It is like the human and post-human. It is a folly to a post-human to pretend to be human when they're no longer, when they're not one.
Indeed.
But I did have
Is
the advantage of being
is
exposed to all these wonderful books on that.
is Olivia all right? She seems
Well, she
distant.
seemed. Mm, it seems the way you returned has caused some psychometric echoes. I mean, I guess you were born, formed
Mm,
in the womb of the boss. So,
Much more than that, but you're right. I was reborn in it.
well, that definitely gives standing to my idea of how you personally could affect others of your lineage because of your curse from the underworld, the swim in the river Styx.
Hmm. That is something perhaps I should look deeper into it. Hmm. So much to do now in so little time. How does
By
others
the way,
ever
I
clan?
never asked you. It slipped my mind. Did you bring a good hospitality gift?
I brought a hospitality gift, though unbeknownst to my ignorance at the time, it was a offensive gift.
Was it?
Yes.
What was it?
Some data on my experimentations on the human brain. He did not
Research
take,
results.
indeed, he did
Yes,
not
yes.
take it to liking. I did not know it was such an offense at the time.
Well, yes. Hmm. I see why it could have been that. It was, I think, one of the first lessons that that Cecil has taught me. Um, unknown to me, and apparently my gifts fit that principle very well. Um, but yeah, I guess I can see that. But you've learned from the experience yourself, you know.
Yes, I said that already.
Well, I'm glad to see that you're no longer plagued by your past guilt, conscience, and emotions.
Those, well, weren't unnecessary to even begin with. Now
Well,
there's
I was
only
surprised you even had those in
my
the first place.
inquiry for knowledge.
Good. I was surprised you even had them in the first place, given your research and experimentation.
Well, I never did go into human experimentation, mostly
Mm,
lab work with bacteria in my
mm.
early days.
Serena,
Though,
oh,
Mm.
apologies, finish.
though, now that I am over such emotions, a lot of strives for science and our evolution can begin.
Well, that is. I wish you luck in your beginnings. Only saying as somebody who has been where you are right now.
Mm.
Do not neglect to learn about your beast by indulging it or um, restraining it, um, so that you do not fall victim to its baser deeds. Mm.
Serena,
Or yeah.
as you speak, you feel this quite tight grasp on your wrist,
Mm-hmm.
shaking as Olivia seems to still be in this curled up position, but
Mm-hmm.
you look to Olivia's face and you see
Mm-hmm.
from the splits on the skin bits of pitch black moss oozing and falling to the couch.
That doesn't seem good.
No, but it certainly does confirm that Jasper's condition has some effect on others.
Olivia manages to get one word out amidst the sheer agony they seem to be experiencing. You just hear sort of a blurted out blood.
I'm going to
I'll
go. I'm gonna go and get like um uh a mortal that Iris would have currently, like somebody who can be quickly embraced in her contraption
Mm-hmm.
and then given.
Okay.
I'll give the blood moon infused blood to Olivia because I brought it down.
Oh, okay. Which one?
Just pure Olivia's blood.
All right. And it's blood moon infused, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So good shit. Good shit.
So, you mark that off because you lost it. You just spent it.
Yeah.
Okay. And as
I
soon...
doubt I was ever meant to consume it.
So as Olivia consumes the blood, you just see this quick burst of pitch black fluids almost burst out of the fissures on their skin. After which, Olivia seems to immediately snap out of this catatonic state.
And Serena probably
Do you
comes
feel
back
better?
with some of the fledglings she had for her, and just puts food down for her.
Olivia looks to the fledgling, then looks to you
Mhm.
and says, "What's this?"
Food. You wanted blood.
No,
Serena looks
I've
to her.
been fed for the
You
longest time.
just
Who's that?
you
And Olivia immediately points to Jasper.
Jasper.
When did you get
Jasper.
here?
The moss grew a tumor, which then became a womb from which Jasper burst forth, and you had a seizure or some sort, and there was black moss inside your face.
I need to think. And Olivia
And when you
basically.
asked for blood, I gave you some of your infused with blood moon energies.
Uh-huh.
I made some last week.
Serena's gonna quietly take the fledgling away and like get him staked or
Chomp.
something.
Just imagine.
The forbidden
Serena kind
chomp.
of goes, "Oh, I'm glad to see you're okay." Yes, Serena walks
Sorry.
off with the fledgling to stake it, and Olivia simply stands up in a very confused demeanor and begins to walk towards the bedroom.
Were we in
this
the bedroom?
experiment was a success.
No, you're in
no,
the
we
living
were in the
room.
living room.
Well, if
That
you
was interesting.
wouldn't mind, Jasper says
Go
as
on,
he
go on.
starts walking towards his room, and the tendrils on his back seem to wrap around to form one apparently thick tail.
Yeah, Serena, after like doing what she needs to do, she goes back to Olivia. And she's like, well, Vikas did describe vicissitude as a sort of fungus, you know? And you
Yeah.
had this reaction when he came back. The improvement could have been connected to the distance, the process.
Maybe. It could also
But
be. There's something I need to ask. Give me a few
yes.
moments. I need to
Mhm.
ask some questions.
Yes. Serena like squeezes Olivia's hand and just goes out of the bedroom and closes the door quietly behind her.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really interesting result. I'll tell you
Well, remember when I shared the info and the Malkavian network went quiet because of
that. Oh no, I
some,
heard that part. I was talking about the blood moon infused blood.
Oh, I mean, it is blood moon, so perhaps it made the Vitae more powerful, more filling.
That
I don't
wouldn't
know.
be enough in itself to make a fucking neonate be satiated.
Yes, but it was Olivia's blood.
Also,
true.
Jasper would come back, walking towards Jack, and he says, "You have something that belongs to me."
You can go and take her blood.
No, not the blood, the package.
To you?
Yeah, those are my belongings. I had to bring them back somehow.
Did only Jasper
Or-
appear without any clothes or belongings?
Well, yes.
Well, it what
So
it
he
what you
was-
can achieve with the blood.
Yeah, it's basically he was born. He was born. I mean,
So,
it
Can't
certainly
say
puts
I
the-
like that process back in the day.
Iris looks to Jack. It certainly puts the Empress into a new context, right?
Mm-hmm.
well, despite your imagination, it is not painful.
No, it's not imagination. I'm pretty sure I remember that.
Well, no, it wasn't painful for you, just like it's, I guess, not really that painful for kids to be bored, but really painful for.
Well, the moment you experience the open world first time, that was shit.
I mean, do you even remember?
Anywho, Jasper holds out his hands, waiting to Jack to pass the package.
Sure.
He grabs the package, and one of his tendrils from his back comes out and cuts open the package for him. And he proceeds to open as he walks back into his room.
As he leaves, Serena just like does telepathy to Jack.
Mm.
And she's like, do you think he knows about the eldest now?
Yes.
But how do we know? We don't know.
If he's gonna tell, he's gonna tell. Otherwise, Olivia will tell us, I guess. While you're here, I didn't really wanted to taste the samples, given that 80% of them are not mine blood. I decided to do what every enjoyer of the wine does, and I'll replay the memories of what the smells were, like the associations
All right.
from the samples. And
And you
Amalia,
sent me that.
I sent you
Yes.
that in
Yes, I did.
DMs. Yeah.
Interesting reaction about mine, because maybe it actually would do the thing that I expected to do, which is grant Cage of Secrets protection to others. Well, because, you know, cramped army truck full of people, and it uses the ventilation and the cobweb to slap back.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting about Abel. I guess he can basically do whatever he wants to do with his imagination.
Well, he probably can make it more physical. I'm more curious about mine, because I never really went into the ocean by Santa Monica Pier.
Well, we did feel that thing in the...
Yes.
What? Well,
Am I
and
have mine too now?
Iris cracks a smile. Welcome to the company. And extends you a fucking hand to shake. Welcome to the company.
Am I a hive mind too now?
I don't know. That's something you should ask your own guy.
If he would
I
talk.
mean, didn't you send a message to all of your clan through the thing?
Yeah.
Didn't I send a message to all of my clan through the thing?
Yeah.
Isn't it technically possible with the fish thing too? So, congrats.
Yes. Thanks.
Hopefully your exposure to mortal sci-fi and fantasy makes you more open-minded to this experience.
I don't really mind. It's just, it feels weird.
I mean, it's what I told Olivia a while ago. How much of you is you?
Yeah.
Like, how much of yourself is yourself, but not the product of your society or your family, or like so on. And if we go back from that, how much is that like a product of like past choices by other people? And if we go like way back to determinism on a global scale, and how much of that is determined, like there's scientific notions that whatever's the reaction in the chemistry of your brain, what's driving you and so on, that has all been in a sense set to be when the Big Bang happened. So we can do this determinism as far as we want.
Well, to the point of physical birth of the universe.
Yes, so technically, what I find most useful is that you don't deny it, you don't fight it if it's not hindering you. You
You just learn from it.
you learn from it.
As you are all talking, Jasper comes out a little bit annoyed from the looks, and he walks towards you, Serena. Serena, I might have a problem that perhaps you could help me with. The clothings that I had in the room are a little bit, well, not fitting for myself right now. Where did you get your clothings made exactly?
Mine?
Yes.
They're just ordered. It's a specific style. They're like rather loose.
But you can order pretty much everything online.
Yeah, you can order pretty much anything online.
Well, I might not want you to do that since I would need very specific clothing type perhaps now.
What is
It
it that
might
you want?
draw on some attention.
Serena looks to his clothing, like body shape. Does she think that like this loose, sort of like the cape you have, Miguel, the robe? Does she feel like that type of clothing would fit Jasper's form well?
It definitely could, if he stops moving those three tails he's got, because so far, the entire time you've seen them, they sort of just seem to move almost on their own. Sometimes scraping on the floor, sometimes just waving about.
Can you control your tails?
I can. And he will make his tails wrap around himself to the point that it's almost into his own body.
Well, I mean, I suppose, like the loose, wavy robe type of clothing Olivia wears? Like, probably
Yes.
something like that would suit you fine. It would obscure most of the things and it would be loose enough. You're in luck. That shit's popular with immortals, so you'd obviously need bigger size than what I gave Olivia, because that's from before I became. But I'm sure in LA there's like even shops for that, and I'm sure Serena looks to Jack. Your ghoul, like she seems young and trendy. She'd probably know where to get.
Yeah, I guess. Not like money is gonna be a problem anyway.
Yeah, basically tell her to look for like robes and pants loose and stuff in the desert nomad slash ninja slash rave, like what people wear to that type of style.
Space
She'll know what.
is non-descriptive. I get it.
No. Those specific terms will be. They define the style very well.
Okay, I'll just message her like straight up what Serena told me.
Oh, and Serena actually
Please.
will send you a couple visuals with that.
Well,
Because the style doesn't really have a name.
the response is pretty immediate. She responds with two emojis. An emoji of a thumbs up and an emoji of fire.
And Serena will also tell her the size and how big is Jasper now?
He's almost 2 meters tall.
Well, actually, quick correction. He's basically taller than Cecil was. So,
Okay,
real
Serena
fucking big, yes.
So Serena will say, like, make sure to say that it should be like largest size.
We're in the US. It goes wide-wise, not height-wise.
No, those brands usually make for Europe,
Yeah,
so they go
true.
height-wise too. Either
Yeah, like
way,
I'll drop like about the height we need. Like
either way, I
I don't feel
think
like precisely measuring it right now.
The
either
response
way, I think
is a hand like this and
either
the
way,
emoji of a face falling asleep.
either way, the main problem with Jasper, you walking outside, is gonna be your feet.
What about them?
He doesn't look human face-wise, and it's one of the first things people look at.
Hmm.
Yeah, but the hood and the mask and scarves, like,
True,
can,
true.
like, be used. Like, think of
So
Sosima. No, the feet is the problem. I wear heels for my feet for a reason. That's the only shoe I can fit, and
mm,
I get basically drag queen size heels.
Perhaps we
we'll
might
figure
need
it
it.
out. Do we really need to go out somewhere tonight, or it can wait for tomorrow?
Well, I did have something about that I need to speak to you, Jack, but we can do it later.
You put your feet
It's,
flat on the ground, or no?
I
Just
am standing normal right now.
no, like Serena.
Like a
Miguel just said that
human
you have
does.
similar feet, right? Like that your feet are sort of like similar vibed. She is basically standing on her, on
Tippy
like as
toes.
if like she heels are up, right?
Yep, that is exactly the same with Jasper, but his is much more bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I'd still point to be that of, like, for example, a bear, but probably bigger than,
So we need
ordinary.
size 54
No,
European
I
high
think I have
heels.
a better solution for Jasper. Jasper, I'm sure you can engineer some shoes from flesh and uh, like stuff
To make it look like
that
a normal
no
guy.
that look actually like shoes, like some like basic shoes and whatever,
Whatever you do.
and use color for leather to paint them different,
Do
and
we
then
have
you
a
can
spare
later.
human?
Hmm?
Do we have a spare human?
I probably have
She has a
one
spare
remaining.
fledgling.
No, I have a spare human. I usually keep a couple around.
That will do. I'll get to work on it. May I have access to it, Serena?
It's in the closet.
And Jasper would slowly walk his way into the front of the closet. This one in particular? Is she asleep? Is she awake? Do I
What?
need to silence her? The human.
She's sedated.
Makes it easier. He opens up, grabs her by the back of the neck, and proceeds to drag her into his room.
Serena looks to her phone and is like, huh?
I guess it's a side effect of being reborn.
Well, what is side effect?
He's mumbling way more than he used to be.
He did talk to himself quite a lot before.
Hmm.
But before it was mostly self pity, self guilt, or
That's true.
more along that line. Now it's just unburdened by the humanity.
The burdens of humanity.
Well,
Doesn't sound nice.
huh. I'm... Okay. Serena's like looking at her phone.
By the way, did you inform Victoria about little changes
About...
about what Tower does now with technology?
Oh, yes, I did. I took the opportunity when I was introducing Olivia to inform her that actually I still haven't heard back from Vicus on whether it's like a global ban. So I'm gonna like quickly text Vicus.
Next to Mike, it sounds like a fucking app you have on your phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna... The sad one with the suit. So, Jack, remember the guy whom I was helping out for like to be able to learn the biomagic? Like the friend, the witch asked me to help.
Yeah.
So he apparently wants to talk to the sad one with the suit, aka you.
Fuck. Okay, sure. Wanna come over?
You want
Or he
backup?
requested specifically to talk to me.
Well, he said he and
Sad fucking one.
he said he and I should have a word. The sad one with the suit. Same spot as when I used it. When I went to meet him.
I don't even know the fucking spot.
Well, I can always give you the directions. Let me go check with Olivia.
Sure.
And
Said one
Serena.
with a fucking suit.
Yes. Does he know you? Serena laughs.
I'm not really sad, so probably not.
Fair. Serena goes to the bedroom. And Serena like looks at him like, for an elder, he really knows how to use a fucking smileys. And talking like a fucking Gen Z. Like, I mean, I'm not the one to talk. Serena knocks on Olivia's door.
There is silence on the other end.
Serena like doesn't want to interfere with Olivia, like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's gonna quickly text her like an update, and she's gonna be like, "I'm gonna go with Jack just in case, because like, what if it's not the buddy? That's one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it does seem weird how he's texting. But also, you know, it's just like I see that Jack's like a bit uncomfortable. So yeah, and she understands that that person is like pretty powerful, like you know, like the witch in the forest. So you know, So yeah, she's gonna be like, well, I've texted Olivia what's going on. She makes a face when she's looking at the messages. Honestly, pack some weapons because what if it's actually Miguel? This shouldn't have been an unknown number. This should have been a known number to her. Because it was a burner phone
She
gave.
gave the number.
Well,
And the
you,
phone.
you technically gave the phone with your number in it. Did you register that phone number on your phone?
She'd know what the numbers are.
We can always
we can say that you got a random number and now you kind of like recall. Oh wait, that's the burner phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
She's
because
like,
I got
well,
distracted, so now we punish your character,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, so it's like it certainly is a burner phone, like numbers that I gave the guy. Like, mind you, Serena like basically started getting ready and like is like, I'll go with you just in case. Because what if he lost his phone? I mean, you never know with elders, really.
Yeah.
But it's certainly, if he's learned how to talk in text, he's been learning it from the kids these days.
It's his days. Oh, the humanity.
Yeah, either way, just for context,
Do we take the actually sad one not in a suit with us?
no, we don't.
Okay. Larry,
just-
you're here to protect the house and
Jasper comes out of his room with clicking sounds as he walks down the hall. He seems to be wearing this somewhat old-fashioned but still fancy shoe made of leather and bones, perhaps. Well, where are you two going in such a hurry?
someone wants to meet me.
To meet an ally of
idea
our
who.
allies. I'll fill you in on the road. But yeah, ally of an ally. My witch allies in the forest.
I see.
I mean, they did vouch to support us in our future battles, so let's go. I'll fill you in.
Sure.
And Serena, once they are in a car, she will basically give Jack, like on the way down in the elevator, she'll give him a too long didn't read recap. It's like, so my guess is he's at least 1,000 years old because he didn't know the Tremere were a clan.
But he knew about fucking walkie-talkie. That's like very selective education.
Actually, Serena has never really told Jack, but
Yeah, like if she told him about that.
well,
Then
I
yeah.
suppose now that you mention it, I guess it was. But maybe that's more relevant on like when he woke up or like where he
guess.
woke up. Because walkie-talkies are still used by the military, I guess. And like security companies.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's just that, and you see that Serena has packed with her like the usual weapons, and she shows Jack the messages that were sent. So mind you, I'm gonna tell you that I would not be really going out there, but he summoned me there first, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He summoned me. And obviously when he said, oh, I can come visit where you are, given Jasper and Olivia, and like, you know, I don't want there to be a fucking murder, you know. But
Yeah.
you see, either he started learning the Gen Z rot, which I'm not surprised with, or It's not who I met that
It's
day.
the other
So,
person, then.
yeah, so. But either way, how does he know about you?
No idea.
Hmm. Either way,
I'm
the
not
witch
really
doesn't
that
seem to be
prominent.
allied. Well, the witch doesn't seem to be allied with anyone. Except, like, this guy, and I'm assuming he's also maybe some mage like her, like, uses blood magic. Because he certainly made it easier for me to learn in the beginning.
Mm.
Actually, otherwise everything about him is pretty normal. Like, we went to, like, the Mexican desert, found like, looked for, like, the lady he was looking for. He got some flour from underneath the earth, and then he just, and then we went back. And, yeah,
In one night.
I was like, no, not in one night. It took like maybe an hour or so.
Yeah, like
And
even
you
that, he's
notice that,
quick.
you notice that Iris does not actually consider that strange at all. And normally,
Yeah, like we are past the age of being, oh my god, at
no,
every
no,
single
no, no, no,
display
no.
of
Here's
power.
the thing. No, no, no. Here's the thing. That is true, but also, I'd assume that you'd know. I'd assume that Jack know Iris enough that she would be, like making some, like she's actually like, oh,
Exaggerations.
like, yeah, she'd be making assumptions or like something like
Mm.
that. But she's like, yeah, like we went to like, oh, it's not that he was quick. We just like were there, and then we were like in another place, and then like same way travel back. Like, she does not consider it strange at all, which is strange for Iris.
Mm. And he would know if she'd lied, and she didn't.
No, she didn't.
So he's really quick.
I think it was more like we were here and then we were there, like teleportation.
Mm.
Like, I would feel like, like if it was very quick,
Mm.
air resistance things. No, it was just like it was. But either way, it's like he just teleported. It's okay.
If you say it's okay, gotta trust the instincts.
As you make your way to the south of Griffith Park, to the spot where Serena first met this person, we will take a short break, and we'll be back in around 15 minutes.
See you around.
See you soon. Welcome back. We rejoin the pack as the car parks near the area where Serena first met this mysterious individual. And as Serena looks out to the forest, he's not here yet, apparently.
Well, I'm going to actually use my eyes of the forest
Mm-hmm.
to see if this is like, because like her other option was that this is a trap. So she's going to
All right.
use the eyes of the forest for that.
So you call upon your blood
1, 2, 3,
to
4, 5. 5
perform
successes.
this right, and yep. So you close your eyes, and as you open them, suddenly your perception expands immensely.
Actually, is this in the same areas that I've already previously like covered? Is it the
Well,
same
no,
area?
actually, because this goes within the territory of the witch. You saw the territory of the werewolves.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I'll do it. Because in the other area I'd still have my ritual active, well, power active.
So as you open your eyes, your perception expands exponentially. You see everything that moves within the forest. Animals. You see the flora shaking in the wind. You see the several idols hanging from the trees. And at some point, you begin to see the clearing where you met the witch before.
Mm-hmm.
And in that clearing, you see the witch along with a number of women, all dressed or undressed in the same fashion as the student you first met. And they all seem to be in a circle, performing some sort of rite.
Mm-hmm. Well, Serena's not gonna like intrude too much on them.
Mm-hmm.
And she like she'll just ignore that bit of like, like personally like put like a
Blinders
like
on.
ignore. Yeah. Because she wouldn't want to offend her new allies. I mean, even the fact that the witch's friend like knew about Jack and so on is like reasons to be concerned, but then they did promise aid. And allies are hard to come against Almahara, so she'd like basically their sacred area, she'd like ignore it
No.
her on her own will.
Okay. So you sort of allow the area around the ritual to sort of become a blind spot for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the rest of the forest. You attempt to find things that seem out of place. Definitely all the idols on the trees seem to be... It's odd. Every time you try to look at one, it's like the shape seems almost incomprehensible in a way. And you swear you're seeing... Now that your perception expands even further, you swear you're seeing some spots almost repeated, or maybe they're just spots as you wish to see them. It's odd, basically.
given my studies, in the meanwhile, I'd probably like Serena like would assume that this is the effect of the rewards and protection.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of similar like to the thing that the Kiyoshi did in that tunnel where we looked for Mariposa.
Okay. And yeah, as you keep an eye out, you don't see anything that seems out of the ordinary. Seems the guy is not even close.
Well, I scanned the area with my eyes. There's no ambush that I could detect, but let's still be careful.
Sure.
Either way, the witches did promise me aid when we battle against, when
good.
we have
guess.
enemies. And
When do we not?
well, given that they're probably one of the few not allied with the Tal Mahara, it's a pretty, how to say, valuable ally in the broad sense. I assume.
As you're speaking, on your side of the car, Serena, you hear knocking on the window.
Serena startled turns around.
It's who you expected. He simply nods and then stands and takes a few steps back.
Okay. Well, Jack, I'm sure you've studied all how to behave your best when dealing with unknown elders, so, you know.
Mm-hmm. Jack will get out of the car. Kinda fix his tie. Like more because he has to, not because he wants to.
Yeah, Serena also gets out of the car.
Well, hello again. Nice to see you.
Hello.
How have you been?
Hello. Good.
Good to hear.
I mean, I've expected this to be an ambush because I did not expect Gen Z language from an elder.
Well, I had to get the knowledge from somewhere.
Yes. But
Anyway,
here's Jack. Here's Jack.
perfect.
You
I
may
would
you may
like
have your check.
to. Yes, I would like to have a word with him in private if possible. We should definitely catch up at some point, though.
Serena just like offhandedly nods, just like, you know.
Perfect.
She's
It's a date. You can get in your car and go. I'll call you later. It's fine.
Serena just gives like a very weirded out look to Jack, and is like, "I'll be okay, Jack.
I'll call an Uber if I need to.
Don't worry." She's like, looks to him and is like just like does this wavy finger, like mentioning like the area around, and is like, telepathically she tells Jack, "Look, I have the eyes active." So, and then she
Okay.
goes.
As Serena gets into the car, Jasper looks at her and asks, Are you sure that his safety is, well, upon the agreement? You did say that they would be allies to you. They never said anything about being allies to your pack.
Well, the witches promised allyship to me and my pack in our war. So, and once they driven longer, far enough, right?
Yeah, the point
Serena,
being, they only said they would be allies to us in the war, not
Serena,
before.
Jasper, you push you feel a pressure on your mind. Do you let Serena talk to you?
Yes.
Look, I told Jack in private. I do have the eyes like of the earth active, which allows me to see through all the plants and the forest around them. Okay?
Mm.
So that whole area, like from where we were parked, 10 kilometers, no, actually 15 kilometers in either, like I cover that area, even if I move. Like, it's active.
And
So,
you're sure that nothing they can do will impede you from seeing him?
well, I know that the spirit of the forest in the werewolf territory tried to, like, block out. I'm sure the witches can do something like
The
that, but
spirit of the forest, you say? Interesting.
yeah. Like, I felt like it was like a spirit of some sort, nature spirit, maybe tree, maybe forest, I don't know. Um, Either way, point I'm making, that's why I telling you that in your mind, because you know how good Auspex can get once you're really powerful
Course.
with it. So yes. So yeah, basically, I told Jack that we're watching. But either way, Serena is just like, since it's like conversation is happening in the mind, I suppose Jasper would feel like some like level of like of like Serena being uncomfortable about, you know, like it's a date or like catch up, and she's like, oof.
You shouldn't
Guy's
let
pushing his
such
fucking luck.
small emotions cloud your mind right now, Serena. You need to
Well,
stay
it's
alert.
more like I don't know what the elder is thinking, right? They could be,
I am
you know,
probably very sure that
using
he just meant that he wants to talk to you. The
uh,
language of these times are crude and
yes, like okay, he could be using the British politeness and like manners, like, you know, it's small talk, it's just nothing. But you never know with elders, do you? So I'm sure it's nothing to be concerned about.
well,
I just don't wish for mm, just don't want for our friendship alliance with the witches be tainted by casualties.
well, if it hasn't already, we still don't know exactly why they want Jack.
Well, I'm sure we'll find out.
So if we cut from the car and join Jack as he essentially sees the car, Serena and Jasper leave. and is left alone with the elder. The man looks to you with a slight smile, tilts his head and puts his hands on his hips. So, you're Jack.
Yeah.
So first of all, pleasure to meet you. I
I guess pleasure's mine too.
well, I'm sure it is. Now, I felt a bit of disturbance recently. Sorry, my English isn't my first language. It's a bit hard to come up with the words. Have you seen anything odd?
Seen, not really.
Maybe
I
remembered?
felt something. I felt something like about 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Can you describe it?
Kind of like a breeze, cold breeze from the ocean. The only weird part was that I was in my apartment,
Hmm.
which is not at all close to the ocean.
Well, for future reference, maybe keep that part a secret. The location, I mean. Not far from the ocean narrows it down quite a bit. Anyway. Well, I've been sensing something in this. I'd say it was sometime during the past week. I sensed there was a bit of a flash, an attempt to communicate somehow from something that, to my knowledge, should be dead.
Attempt to communicate with. So someone who should be dead tried to communicate with someone?
Yes. It was someone that I managed to deduce is you. You really didn't feel anything?
Not really. Well, if I should be dead, well, I guess you know who I am. So, we're all dead.
I mean, I know your first name. Didn't even know your face until you showed up.
Well, I tried to communicate with it because it felt like a presence, but it didn't answer.
Okay. So here's my proposition. I'm a man of my word. I'm sure your friend can attest to that and to other things. So, here's my offer. I can help you search for whatever tried to send that message. In exchange, you give me full honesty about these things that have been happening. I'll ask some questions, you answer them. That'll help me help you. And as a little bit of honey to sweeten the deal, how about I grant you a favor?
Doesn't sound bad. But, like, if you're trying to find the one who was trying to communicate, I was trying to communicate. So, here I am.
No, you didn't try to communicate with me specifically. I'm searching
No.
for Well, since I'm sensing to some extent that you're accepting the deal, yes?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. Then honesty is part of that deal. So, first things first, what are your hobbies?
Reading some weird occult stuff.
Okay. Don't see that having any connection to what I felt. Other hobbies? Any?
Not really. No, most, like, sometimes I try to practice what I read in occult books, so maybe
Okay.
that.
Does that involve your blood somehow?
Sometimes.
Okay. Last week, have you done anything like that?
Yeah. I infused my little blood with some moonlight. That's
I won't ask questions about that. Did something weird happen?
mm, last week, not really.
Hmm.
Oh, apart from lunar eclipse, which mortals like to call blood moon, but that's a yearly occasion.
I suppose. Hmm. How about dreams? Have you been dreaming? I know that's not something our lot do, but
Not really.
not really. Weird memories that popped into your head that you can't really explain. Flashes.
Not that I really recall.
What about the ocean? You mentioned you felt something coming from it. Do you remember seeing anything about the ocean? Or remembering anything about the ocean?
Well, I had like a weird sense, like I had a perspective of the city from the ocean.
Okay. Can you describe it? Actually, if you're okay with it, may I just pluck that image from your brain?
Sure.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I can work with that. Give me your hand for a second. Before I grab your hand. Whatever happens, don't let go. Might feel a bit weird, but don't let go. Yeah?
Okay.
Cool. He grabs your hand, and all of a sudden, you just feel yourself almost falling down, and you feel your pants getting really wet with water, and now you're hanging by his hand. In the middle of the ocean, he seems to be standing on the water. Is that the view?
Is that?
You do see the Santa Monica skyline, same as the vision you had.
Sorta, I guess.
Okay, okay. If I know anything about this type of stuff, we need to go down. So, hold your breath, I guess. Not that we really need to, but
Don't really need that.
cool. And it's almost like he lets go of something in his mind. He just falls into the water, and both of you begin to sink. And sink. And sink. Eventually, you see the bottom. And just where you're falling, there seems to be sort of a ruptured fissure on the floor. And the guy just looks to you and does sort of this motion. And you continue to fall. You go into the fissure, and it goes down for a long time. You fall for what feels like minutes, maybe hours. And eventually, you reach what seems to be the bottom of this fissure. And all you find down there is bits of sand that have fallen in since it opened, and a small shard of some material, like a broken off piece of something. The man looks to you and just...
Does it look like kind of like obsidian or something?
That's black. It looks a bit obsidian-ish. Yeah.
Mm. I'll pick it up.
And as soon as you make contact with it, you just feel yourself almost falling to the ground. You look around you, and you're back at the edge of the forest. And the guy sort of just gently lets go of your hand. Sorry about the turbulence. Didn't really have a choice there.
That was more weird than anything that happened in half a year about.
Cool. So you did help me. May I see that for a second?
Sure. I'll try to feel any magic from it before I give it to him.
There's definitely something. It's not... It's... Roll
Not like magic,
perception
magic.
awareness, please.
Okay. Can do that. And... Helese.
There is something about it. You wouldn't call it magic. It's definitely not of a non-Cainite origin.
Yeah.
And you almost feel like a closeness to it. So may I?
Sure.
He takes it, seems to examine it a bit. I have no idea what the fuck this is. Well, maybe you can figure it out, I guess. And he hands it back.
Sure. Into the inside pocket.
So you did help me. Shame I didn't get much out of it, but I owe you a favor. What would you like? I'm probably not going to be in town for very long, so best cash in now.
I don't really know. In case you have knowledgeable Sombra, it can teach me something.
Could probably teach you myself. What do you need to know?
Well, for that I'd have to be a bit lower in generation too.
How low?
One should probably do. I don't know. I messed up bloodline a bit.
Okay, do me a favor. Call your cute friend. Tell her to come pick you up.
Okay. I'll check if my phone is not dead first. Seawater is no match against IP68. It kills everything.
You check it. You turn it on. Seems to be on, but you sort of have to like shake it first.
Yeah. I'll message Serena.
And as soon as you press send, the guy just says, "Cool. Sorry about this. He does this, and everything goes black.
Right.
A while after, Serena, you return to the spot, and you find Jack on the ground, eyes closed, sort of like just as if he just fell backwards.
He posing, obviously.
He alone?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna go and like I assume like did my eyes of the earth work? Like except like when they went to the ocean.
They did work. The moment he went to the ocean, it's almost like he just vanished in a blur. And then he returned in a blur.
Mm-hmm. Well, so Serena basically overheard like shit, and so she's like,
Well, you didn't really miss much from the ocean deep talk.
yeah. She'd be more concerned. She'd be like, she'd get Jack back into the car in the back seat with Jasper, and then be like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
And she's going to retell whatever she overheard, so everything except the ocean, to Jasper. And she'd be a lot more concerned. You know, about him knowing that what Jack was contacted about, like with, since she talked with Jack about it. And given the fact that Jack asked for like his generation to be lowered, and like he's
Well,
like it's like surely it cannot have been done, right? Surely.
So, as you're driving back to the Haven, Jasper, eventually you know, checking Jack's condition, you eventually just see one of his eyes open and then the other. And Jack, you sort of come to your senses.
What the fuck was that?
you tell
Well,
us.
Well,
clicked you.
Yep. That I remember.
After you asked that you need a lower generation. Surely, like, and how did he know about the thing? You know.
No idea.
Well, something that powerful would get the attention of those sensitive enough to sense. Perhaps that's how he knows.
But, you know, I mean, I assume Jack is not gonna know until he'll be able to test it. If the thing really worked, but he made blood sorcery easier for me to learn at first. If he managed to do this as well, and he knows about the entity in the ocean, and that it was contacting Jack, or tried to communicate with Jack.
And maybe
And to
he's more
communicate is a
powerful
big
than he-
fucking stretch, but yes.
No, but the point is,
Maybe he
like-
is more powerful than he shows himself to be.
do you think?
You don't
Do
even
you
know
think?
what generation he is. To be precise.
Given our luck, well, it another antediluvian.
Hmm. I doubt it.
I don't know. Offered me to teach me some obtenebration. Like, he would know what that is if he was La Sombra.
Hmm. What about that rock you looked at?
Blackish rock that I felt kind of familiar with.
Well,
Not that I know it, like
a
it
kinship.
felt like from sorta, yeah.
Mm.
Didn't
where
really
did you
got
guys get
much
it?
time to study.
Well, whoever he
So
is,
deep into the ocean, it shouldn't be physically possible.
Okay.
well, whoever he exactly is,
Never even told me
we
his
should
name.
count ourselves perhaps lucky that he doesn't want us immediately dead. Perhaps.
Hmm. And I think last time I tried to divine on him, my tarot cards didn't really work that well, or like. Mm. And Iris is like biting her nails at this point. Mm.
There's no point in
So I guess you
questioning.
both heard about like it's a date, which doesn't really line up with him being non-English speaker. So
Yeah.
I guess he asked you out.
Iris looks back to him, back to Jack, and is like, no.
I doubt you would like him, but he probably did ask you out.
Iris
That's
just
probably
has
what
like,
he meant by it.
I believe that perhaps, even though it is not your liking, Serena, perhaps you should go. You could get some information out of him that could be of use to us.
Jasper, did you suddenly get a fucking death wish?
No, but it's
So
he
I
seems to be
advise
of.
you shut the fuck up about this.
I'm just being rational about it. It is her choice either way, what she does.
Iris is oddly silent the entire way around, but you can see that she's gripping the wheel pretty like tightly. She's like, I don't like this. Like, there's like a face that she's deep in thought. Because even though, like she doesn't consider his quickness unnatural, anything weird, the rest, like she assumed he was another witch, like the witch in the forest. But
That
if he
flick
can,
wasn't a fucking magic.
no, well, here's the thing: if it did what you asked, like what Jack asked him to do with that flick, then that's like way different.
You know what? Why don't you park the car? I go drive, and you ask big fucking brother and sisters.
Who, Big Brother? You mean Big M?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, sure. Like, and Iris, for the first time, despite her always like looking for the Shadowlands and like basically sticking her nose into any question. Like, for the first time, she looks like extremely uncomfortable. So yeah, she parks the car. She lets Jack in the driver's seat, and then she goes in the back seat and just gives a heads up to Jasper. Sometimes the eyes of chaos can become Rather,
Violent.
well, no, wild. Um, just make sure it's not really that, like, I'm not gonna be, like, visible from the front, like, because the back is all, like, toned dark, so it's not visible. And she's gonna go into freaking Eyes of Chaos.
All right. So, Serena, roll for it.
And she's gonna use a willpower point too, just in case.
Just want to see how badly this goes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. And I need to roll
6
something
successes.
myself.
Malcolm's like, nah, don't want to talk about now.
Malcolm's like, oh fuck no, oh fuck no, oh fuck no.
Hell nah, hell nah.
Remember that person I told you to run away?
Okay.
Run
So,
away, you can hide.
Serena, as you close your eyes and attempt to focus, you drift off back into that infinite darkness. And once again, you don't even need to reach forward. You know that surface is there. You almost will it to crack this time. And as it cracks, you see that the number of cracks this time, now that you know it's important, creates 7 pieces. And your reflection on the other end is one of your Zulu form, only it is incredibly gored and mangled.
Not a good sign.
It seems to watch you with curiosity. And as it sees you, it moves one of its claws and just taps on its face.
On its face.
Yeah, aiming
As in-
towards its eye.
Towards its eye.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? Like, sorry. Is Iris supposed to understand something from it?
Whatever you understand from it is what you understand from it.
Well, Iris is going to... Do you know that Elder? I got a bad feeling. That's the first question she asks.
The reflection tilts its head and makes a bit of a confused expression.
Serena basically just like, because it's like, she's gonna use like telepathy, like Eyes of Chaos, to basically just like project her previous experience with a vampire.
Okay. As you do this, the figure, this Zulu form, looks sort of to the infinite, and as you project the image of him, it looks to you, and then while you can't hear anything from the other side, it falls over laughing. And one of these shards falls.
Okay, so I assume you do. Is he one of your peers?
The shape stands up, sort of doing the fake, wiping away a tear.
I'm glad
And
you like I
Hmm?
like Iris is like I'm glad you're finding amusement in the situation because knowing myself, knowing the clan, knowing you, I guess, in a sense, it's something that personally amused you. But is he a peer of yours? Like one of the 13 or however many of you were?
Malkov just the figure basically taps its chin, and then with these really mangled claws just goes. And another shard falls.
Right. Mm. Why is he looking for? Why was? How did he know about La Sombra communicating with Jack?
The figure seems to look around and then looks to its wounds on its arms
Mm-hmm.
and does this, and one of the arms just falls out. And another shard
Okay.
vanishes.
No. Cryptic. Mm. Oof. Should I be concerned? Like, Jack is implying that it is a fucking ancient uh, elder who fucking lived under a rock for centuries, asking me out on a date. Jasper says it's no, but what the fuck? Like, should I be concerned?
The figure sort of shakes itself and begins to turn back into a human shape. And it looks like you do now. And as it sort of straightens out, it kind of does a flick of the very vivid red hair. And as that flick happens, you see another crack, and the piece falls.
Iris has as the figure does a like flick with the red hair, because Iris as a metamorphosis would be like, what? You're like looking for your ancient crush? Like, whatever. She's like, oh, like, are you telling me that this elder is delulu enough to basically consider me a rebound? That's what you're implying?
Malkov seems to chuckle and then does this. And the second to last fragment falls, leaving, again, a quite small fragment you can look through.
Wait, was it like a 7 questions already? I think it was less.
I think you asked 6, right? So,
5.
oh, okay, then. If you ask 5, then yeah, there are 2 shards left.
So I could technically just change how I look. Like, I don't know. Become a guy or something.
The figure looks down at itself, then looks to you, and then goes,
Okay. Fine.
it seems to want to say something, but it's struggling to gesture an answer. And as the fragment falls, you see like faint apparitions of it sort of doing this. And as it moves its hand, the shard returns and falls in place.
What? Did y- Uh. Ah. 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 The thing's like. Irie just like has like a little meltdown. The thing's needed to fucking maintain some fucking allies. Fucking hell. Okay. Well, since you seem to know and you seem to find it hilarious, whatever was going on, what what's his purpose in finding La Sombra, who's supposedly dead?
As soon as you ask that question, the shape violently does a motion, and the shard goes flying to the side. This version of you looks genuinely upset, and then does this.
Okay. Okay, got it. Well, Serena like walks closer to the shard again, like to see what it does. I don't have really any more question, except maybe did he like I guess I can figure some things out if I have an answer or hint to. Did he lower Jack's generation?
And the final shard slowly falls.
I stand back expecting like Malkov again to appear in front of me.
He doesn't.
Okay.
As you prepare yourself to awaken, you then feel this really, really sharp pain in the back of your head. You turn in surprise, and you see Kian holding a bloody hatchet. He kicks you over and begins to hack at your head. And as you feel your skull splitting, you sort of jolt back awake in the car with a scream. And for the next 5 nights, you are going to be slightly bipolar.
Okay.
Very splitting headaches.
So that went well, apparently.
Well, um, uh, well, apparently, whatever I, like, when I projected what happened to Malkov, his first reaction was to fucking lose his shit in laughter.
So that means he knows him.
Yeah, he didn't, like, I asked him if it was one of the other aunties. He said he didn't give an answer. He was like, shrug.
Didn't he give an answer? So he shrugged, so he gave an answer. It
Yes.
just wasn't an
But
answer.
he is not sure.
No, it's the same type of answers that he does when he basically is like spoilers. Either way, I asked him about your idea of Jack, and remember the woman I was looking for?
Mm-hmm.
He sort of implied it was connected to the looks, but then also like I don't know, like, and Serena shows the motion he did, like the mind and the heart thingy. Like when I ask him if it's like, if it's, you know, if it's some Delulu thing about rebound, like, oh, you know. Either way, shit's not good on that thing, and we're not going to be talking about that fact, right? We're not going to be talking or addressing that fact. Either way, I did ask him whether he did the things that you asked him to, and let's just say that his smile was the type of smile I give you when you guess my plan correctly or you understand some fucking shit correctly. So I'm assuming he did lower your generation.
Well, that's concerning.
Well, yes, exactly.
At what cost? That is the question.
Well,
Well-
if I got the deal right, I helped him out in whatever fucking capacity, and he just lowered my generation. To what degree? Good luck trying to find that out.
By the way, is Jasper aware of Jack communicating with La Sombra?
Probably not.
He was not made aware
Probably
yet.
not.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the entire time you made it a point to keep it a secret, so...
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Jack will feel a quick, like, poke on the mind. Just the fact that he knew about La Sombra.
That's
And
fucked up.
that he could, like, make blood sorcery for me to learn easier. And he could know there was a communication attempt.
Mm-hmm.
That is very fucking dangerous. Like, either way, it's definitely somebody Malkov personally knows, and he lost his shit about this person. Which potentially puts him as one of the third generation. Which potentially means that
Who then?
this is an enemy of the sword.
Yeah.
Are you just going to stare to Jack, Serena, with a green face?
No, Serena's not staring at Jack, she's just like looking at the window. Sorry.
Both look at the window meaningfully. Jack just looks at the front window.
Serena's like, look, I'm still like processing about the fact that Malkov confirmed Jack's idea and lost his shit about it, okay?
At this
I don't
point,
fucking like it.
at this point, the car begins to approach the Haven.
Furious though. I'm gonna call Larry.
Larry.
Either.
Hmm?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Larry, your phone vibrates.
I assume I am in the Haven.
Yeah, we can see you're chilling on the rooftop.
I pick it up.
Yes.
Did you or did you not follow us from the air?
Why?
I'm curious. I don't give a fuck if you did. I would rather prefer if you did, actually.
What happened?
So you didn't.
I'm asking, what happened?
What happened is I met a guy.
What
who...
guy?
No fucking idea. Average guy.
How did you meet him then?
He asked Serena that I meet him, and I kinda hoped that your nosy blood is gonna make you fly and follow us.
Why?
Because I don't know. Air reconnaissance. So, again, did you fly after us and follow us, or did you not?
What is your concern, Jack? I do not
That you
understand.
might have seen something that we didn't, which would be good. Stop
Or
evading the fucking
anything
question and say
important?
yes or not.
I
Larry,
didn't see anything.
do I smell bullshit?
Larry's tongue does have a bit of
It's
an
just by
odd
hearing,
ooze
because
sort of spitting out for a second, and then you realize it's just your imagination, I suppose.
So, Larry, if you did see anything that we didn't, because I missed the time between him knocking me out and Serena picking me up. If you did see anything, you better tell me now, because it might be
Serena would
important.
have seen it. Serena would have seen it, though. Eyes of
Tell
the earth.
me, Tony, you have the perfect capability to understand if somebody lies to you or not. How can't you tell if I was following you or not? And if I had seen something or not? Why are you torturing me with these questions?
Because you're awaiting a straight fucking answer. Go on. I'm not gonna punish you for following us.
As if
I'm
you
just
would.
trying. Larry, I could, but I don't, and I won't.
Mhm.
Have you seen something that we didn't? Anything?
If I had seen, I would tell you.
Uh-huh. But you haven't seen anything.
Are you already dropping by? Where are you?
Close to the haven.
How did the meeting go?
It was one of the meetings of my lifetime.
Really? And you don't even know the person?
Do you?
How would I?
I don't know.
Well then, I will
Next
be
time I'll
waiting
ask
for
of
you.
his name specially for you.
You know, meetings with strangers are not usually considered to be meetings of a lifetime.
It was one of the meetings of my lifetime. And I had many.
So, good for you.
Is Olivia
I
still back
will
at the
be
haven?
waiting for you.
Um,
No, Larry would know probably.
Well, that's Larry. I'll PM you the answer.
Okay. You were put on standby. Please wait for ST to type something in personal chat. Duns, du-du-du-du, duns, 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 du-du-du-du, duns, duns, duns,
Yes, the
du-du-du-du,
elevator
duns, duns,
music.
duns.
You got your answer. You may stop sassing now.
Probably, I don't know. They have this remarkable skill of not letting anyone know if they leave.
They pretty much do let us know when they leave.
I
You,
mean,
on the other
if
hand,
they want to leave discreetly.
True. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
I will be waiting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I won't start another small talk until we get back to.
Yeah.
If somebody else does.
Well, at this point, you're basically
Yeah.
near enough to the haven that you park inside, make your way up the elevator with the usual code, and you enter the haven. And sure enough, Larry is in the living room.
I'm gonna sit on one of the chairs and examine the shard more closely now. Maybe from a cult point of view.
Okay, a cult point of view, yes?
I read some books.
Okay. I need to roll something for you. Just because, best if this is kept a secret. One moment. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Okay, so that's not a lot of dice, but let's see. You study the object. It feels almost like rock, but there's something odd about the texture. We don't know many rocks that naturally take this shape. And it doesn't look like it broke off in this shape either. There are definitely parts of it that clearly were broken off of something. But even the natural texture feels weird.
Oh, fuck it. I'm just gonna envelop it in shadows and see what happens.
Okay.
If it's from La Sombra to Diluvian, I guess, bring it back home?
So, you call upon the shadows. Is anyone else in the room apart from Larry and Jack? Does anyone stick around?
Serena is still in the room and she's just she's still
Pondering.
processing.
Yeah.
Jasper is observing the situation.
Okay.
More
Jack,
casualties.
I need you to roll me first. Just your flat obtenebration score, please.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And now I need you to roll me stamina, please.
Oof. That's not a lot of dice. Beleşe. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Managed
So-
some.
You envelop the shard in shadows. And for a very brief second, you feel this really intense, but only for a very split second, really intense pain in your chest.
Like art or something else.
Like someone just set your chest on fire for like a fraction of a second. Like a fraction of a second. Almost like the feeling of stubbing your toe, but that burning alive just as long as like the impact. Yeah. And just here.
Something changed about the stone?
Well, do you remove the shadows from it?
Yeah, I'm gonna not just dissipate them, I'm just gonna pull them back.
Okay. So as you pull the shadows back, anyone else in the room sees a rather quickly rotting small chunk of flesh.
Okay. That's fucking weird.
On the floor, or
No, in my
In
hands.
Jack's hand.
In my hands.
Beef if you're
I'll-
antediluvian.
I'll just fucking unbutton my shirt and like check where the if was the pain like more to the outside or to the inside.
Well, it was just your entire chest.
Mm.
You look to your chest, no markings, no anything. You're fine.
Jasper would take a step closer and look better at this rotting chunk of whatever it is.
You better be fucking quick because it's 100 years old.
That's fine. That's fine. Jasper, roll me perception and medicine. Because it's rotting rather quickly, difficulty is 9. So close.
So close, and yet so far.
You don't have any
Alright,
specialties
can
that
I
apply?
roll? Can I roll?
Wait. I mean, I'm insightful.
No, it wouldn't apply here.
I'm gonna
Yeah. Go on.
difficulty 9.
Yep. Oh my fucking
Well,
god.
no.
But, what is this? You rolled the
Amalia
exact
is
same
still
amount of
like-
9s as you do once. Twice. What are the
Well,
odds?
Well, here's the thing. Serena is like still concerned.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the bit of flesh rather quickly
But-
turns.
I have another question. Could I possibly maybe try to identify, even if it's rotting, what kind of like tissue, organ, or whatever it is?
I'll give you one action, and the roll's gonna be difficulty 10. What do you want to do to try and identify it?
Well, how big is it? Is it just like
Yeah, big. Like, this fucking big.
Yeah, basically.
Mhm.
Basically.
So it's a little. It's like a chunk of organ. So the best way would be to quickly cut it and see the layers of the fucking whatever that is, if it's an organ or.
Okay, well, luckily, it is broken off, or it was broken off, which means it's a slice of an organ already. You know what to look at. That said, it's very, very rapidly
Decay.
turning into dust. So roll difficulty 10, and it's in this case wits and medicine, because you got to be quick about this.
Don't forget the power of Pelese and willpower.
I would like to use a willpower
Mm-hmm.
and Pelese.
Okay, and
The
do you have
most
any
important
wits
part.
specialties that apply here?
Probably not.
Oh, I think you do.
No.
I think you do.
Changes in strategy, actually. Yeah.
Oh, no. Unfortunately not. Sorry.
That would be the other one, the intelligence one, which is analytical.
Yeah.
But I did get a success with the
Yeah,
willpower.
it's willpower. All you gotta do is roll no ones, and
No, actually, even ones don't cancel willpower.
the willpower success?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
willpower. Even if you roll like
Okay,
all ones,
go
you
for
still
it.
succeed.
Roll. Let's see how
Went for it.
high the success rate is.
He went for it, and he went for it rather shittily.
Oh, is that the roll? Shit. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So that is one success. So you look at the side of the organ, and while it's rapidly dissolving, you do recognize it's a muscle, and the shape of it feels like it's a piece of a muscle that would be sort of concave, in a way.
So, okay. Jasper takes a closer look. It takes a step closer to Jack and says, "Jack, would you mind me slightly looking into your heart, perhaps?"
Only if you look just slightly.
Do not worry. I'm just gonna take a quick peek and not change anything if you're worried about that.
Don't try to steal
And-
my heart, though.
Why would I ever do that to my ally? And Jasper would carefully, if he's already unbuttoned his shirt, so he would carefully put his hands over Jack's chest and remove, well, tissue.
Lick
and,
the fucking hood of the car.
yeah, pop the hood of the car open and take a look inside of it.
All right. So, Jack, you see Jasper as his fingers, like the tips of his fingers, sort of unfurl into these rather sharp tools. And he begins to slice into your chest. And it's fucking agonizing. So I need you to roll me self-control. To not lash out.
Yep.
In the meantime, Jasper, please check.
Through
ST.
suffering we learn. Pelese. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Good.
I got 2
Okay.
successes.
I see it.
So you manage to like hold down as Jasper, quite disregarding your winces of pain, just keeps going as if you're doing nothing. And as eventually he pries open your ribcage and seems to look in, Jasper, you basically see that part of Jack's heart is now this really, really, like, light-absorbing black. Like the darkest black you can imagine. And it's just functioning as normal.
And with that, he looks at Jack and says, "Give me a second." And he will. Oh, wait. He doesn't have a reflection. God damn it.
Yes.
Here it is. Ah, that's a very beautiful floor.
Here's nothing. Here's nothing,
he
and
would
you
look-
risk.
He would look at
Friends with
Serena,
Jack.
at Jack, at Larry, and says, "This is
Give
I
it to me, doctor. How long do I have?
I have no fucking idea, Serena. Would you want to take a look?
Serena, like, looks startled out of her thought, looks to it, and then looks to Jack. Well, I'm assuming, given the man's reaction to this obsidian stone, he was not of Clan La Sombra.
I guess not.
But I'm guessing we have our confirmation.
About what?
About who was communicating.
I guess.
Well,
Anyhow, apparently part of your heart is not yours anymore.
Hmm?
it's made of black material, like light absorbing, like your shadows, arms of Ahriman.
So I'm closer to the abyss now. How fun.
Mm-hmm.
And Jasper would, as quickly as he closed, making sure that he does not come even into contact with the heart.
So, closing it, you basically don't need to do much because you didn't use vicissitude for this. You just used tools. So you just push everything sort of together and just let Jack heal it naturally. So, Jack, you can take a blood point off and heal that damage. Yeah. And as all of this happens, eventually Olivia opens the door to the bedroom and walks out, then looks at Jack laying on the floor and the 3 people standing over him and says, no, it's something else. Okay. Serena, just let me... And you... Serena, you feel a slight pressure on the back of your head.
Yeah. And Serena just like looks at him like usually she's like, yeah, whatever, get whatever you need. This time she's just like, she looks slightly terrified, uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Right after Olivia does this, there's a moment where they open their eyes and say, okay, so not the weirdest thing we've gone through.
Not really.
He asked what?
What exactly are you so worried about? There were a few things to be worried about, honestly.
Olivia basically leans over to check the clock on the table and then straightens her back and says, I'll be back in just a minute. And begins to walk towards the front door.
Serena just like... Serena worries for a second. But then... Actually, should I roll something to see if like if I'm like composed enough to like, process things?
Do you feel you'd react emotionally out of impulse and you wouldn't want to?
Well, knowing like previous experience with Olivia, like killing a fucking gargoyle for, looking at me wrong, basically. she's just like she would worry that Olivia would be going to do the same thing. When it's unclear what power level is that
Okay.
person.
So you may roll. That would be instinct in this case, which you don't roll. Let's say if you have instinct 5.
I do.
Okay, so you
Plus all
you
virtues
have
are minus
total.
1 difficulty.
Hmm?
Plus all virtues are minus 1 difficulty for me.
Yeah. So yeah, you can control yourself just fine.
Yeah, so Serena just like chases after Olivia, and once they're out of earshot, she's like, "Listen, we don't like. Did you also look through like my communication with the big M, Big Iris?" Or, like, do you even have access to that?
Sorry, is
Sorry.
this question towards me or the back?
Olivia.
Oh, Olivia is going out, not really reacting to anything.
Yeah, she chased after Olivia. She's like, did you see like my communication with like the Big Iris?
What is the big iris?
The Big M?
Oh. No, why?
Okay, so just look into my mind, telepathy-wise, okay? And she just like, you know,
Mm-hmm. Olivia basically focuses for a moment and says, I can't see anything.
okay, so, okay, I guess that's like,
Look, I'll be
so,
right back. It shouldn't be too long, okay?
well,
I just
it's,
need to make sure everything's okay. It shouldn't take too long.
okay, but just like, let's just say that when I first projected to Malkov, like, a question about that person, his first reaction was to fall over fucking laughing his ass off.
And I'm sure there are reasons for it.
And
I'd still like to make sure things are safe.
yes, I mean, either way, it might benefit for me to change my sex and looks.
Do as you wish.
Hmm. Either way, yeah. It's concerning.
I'll return soon, okay? Just stay safe.
You stay safe.
I'll be fine. And
Okay.
Olivia turns and starts entering the elevator.
Jasper looks towards Jack. For some second, he's about to say something. As he then shifts his eyes for a second, almost into nothingness, before looking back at Jack and saying, "Oh, this is not gonna end well."
It's not
Anyway,
gonna end well.
This
What's
fucking
not gonna
nothing
end well?
fucking ends well.
What's not gonna end well?
whatever Olivia is going to do.
Okay, fuck
Anyway.
it. Sarita's like chases after Olivia.
Mm-hmm. You basically catch the elevator as it's closing. And just stop it.
Look, Jasper just said it's not gonna end well, so maybe no, don't.
How does he know?
He just had this like look into like as if he looked into the Shadowlands or something. I don't know.
Okay. Olivia just takes a step out of the elevator and goes inside. Then, without saying a word, makes her way to the bedroom and slams the door shut.
That one better than I expected. But still, Serena, you still have a choice to make, which is whether you completely ignore this mysterious elder or you go meet up with him.
Or I have a choice to do the metamorphosis way.
Yeah.
That is to say, if he cannot identify you, even if you change.
Oh no, it's just that I could not look
could-
like his ex, apparently.
Yeah.
Or something along the lines. I don't know. It was vague.
Well, whatever choice you make, know that every action has a consequence. And
You tell me that.
we could get information out of that if you went to speak with him and just say that you're not that person that he think he is. You are, at least. Either way, your choice.
Jack will just like sit up still on the floor and like concentrate for a moment, try to feel what changed in him.
So you're trying to feel what
Maybe the
changed for
presence
you.
got. Yeah, maybe the presence got louder, quieter. Maybe like physical changes purely. Like something gotta change. Especially with piece of my heart just becoming a fucking abyss.
So you can roll. In what sense do you want to check? Just introspection? Do you want to see if something supernatural happened to you? What are we thinking? Oh. Can you guys hear me? I see. Sorry about that, folks. Technical difficulties. So, returning to the question. Jack, you want to feel if there's some change that happened to you. Are you
Yeah.
looking for some supernatural effect? Some physical effect? Just introspection? What are you trying to do specifically?
More like just trying to find out if anything just changed.
Yeah, but in what
Like
sense?
if probably like supernatural than physical.
Okay. So first,
I try to fulfill both.
perception and awareness.
Mm-hmm. Careful applies.
Yes.
Yeah. Beleza.
Yep.
Ooh, that's good.
So you definitely feel a bit numb, but in the good way. Almost like you feel like there's a bit more flexibility with what you can do. Almost like a runner who just limbered up before a race. You feel like you could achieve things like supernaturally. You could achieve things faster and get better results out of things. Effects on you, you can't really sense anything, but that's generally how you feel, like just in terms of your mood, you sense there's like it's regarding your supernatural condition. If you want to check like physically, just physical effects, I won't even have you roll. There's really no physical sign that you've changed. Apart from, if you haven't healed the wound that Jasper cut into your chest entirely, but otherwise, no. On the exterior, there's nothing. I think that's. I mean, unless you want to try some other method.
I'll try to like open my mind to the entity. I was like feeling around for past 2 weeks. But don't try to like send a message.
Okay.
Just like
So as soon as you open, like you allow yourself to at least listen, you just hear a whisper right next to your ear going, shh. And then it's almost like your mind clenches up and locks up again.
what was the whisper?
Just a
Because if you
shh.
The fucking okay. Okay.
As as Jack is doing that, Jasper now seems to stare at Jack, and even though his expression shows nothing, the tendrils
Well,
that come,
there's like a bit of a flinch to his face.
the tendrils behind Jasper's back seem to get a little bit excited and move around him, slightly defensive. And after a moment, he seems to look back at Serena and says, "Is there anything else you would need me? Are we doing
No.
anything else, perhaps?"
No.
No?
Not.
I need to complete some things.
Of course.
If you excuse me,
So
I
you were
need
saying you
to
wanted my help for something?
later. I
Okay.
By the
need
way, do you have the hair from the mortal remaining that you used for your shoes?
which mortal remember?
The one I gave you earlier.
Oh, She should be quiet in the closet in my room. Feel free to pick her up if you want. I need to speak with Olivia to see where she left things off for me. As he starts to walk towards Olivia's room.
Left things up for him? Okay. Serena looks a bit annoyed because she wished to go speak with Olivia in private about what she saw in the vision. But yeah, she looks to Jack and then telepathically tells him, you know, when I asked VtM what's the thing, the person, why he's looking for your supposedly ante, he was just he just did a very brisk and very intense sign to keep the mouth shut.
Yeah, I just heard that from, you know.
So I'm
the fucking
assuming,
shush.
yeah, so I'm assuming the same is about Olivia.
Yeah.
So I'm annoyed Jasper's but I assume, actually that might just, give Olivia time to cool down.
Mm-hmm.
Because shit. At first I was worried about...
Can you help me real quick?
Was what?
Just concentrate real hard on any supernatural energy, and I'm gonna see if something I can do is registerable. And I'll just concentrate and basically use my best message to I'll just message Liliana, and the text would be I'm just trying stuff out, don't worry.
Okay, I got 5 successes.
Okay. You're trying to detect what specifically?
No,
If
I'm
there's
just...
gonna be I just asked to see if my abyss ritual leaves any fucking trace that can be felt when I cast it.
And Serena got 5 successes. So, two things. Serena, you feel from Jack specifically sort of a very brief pulse of, a bit of an uneasy feeling. That said, you feel that every time he uses some form of obtenebration, it's just you usually associate it with the shadows moving around. So, nothing out of the ordinary. Jack,
Well...
one thing you notice is you usually have to do... it takes effort to do this messaging. You almost do it instinctually as if you were talking. No effort at all.
Well, I felt the usual pulse of energy I feel when you use obtenebration. Nothing out of the ordinary.
You think it's gonna be safe to use it?
Well, if you mean... in what scenario? Against whom?
Well, towards whom, rather.
Well...
I believe the
haven't you
title we have to use is the words that you have silenced.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know how to actually relate that thing to anything, to be fair. Well, uh, um, honestly, it could be related to the shush thing,
Mm-hmm.
or which is basically still like all the shush we have to consider when just, you know, like given what we know. Like not even Vikas knows what
Yeah.
some of us here know. Point is that I'm making is that against whom do you mean the man who like
Yeah, who likes
intercepted?
who felt that I even tried to talk.
Well, what's interesting is that he didn't know what the stone was.
Yeah, he had no idea. Well, not that he can really figure it out now.
No, because the stone was something unique to La Sombra.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's funny?
Mm.
It felt so much easier to send the message.
Well, that just confirms our theory,
Yes.
but
Yes.
something we should need to be shush about because, you know, certain three of our are considered dead. All of the
Mm-hmm.
three we're talking
Yep.
about. They're officially dead.
Uh-huh. You know what?
And
We can just participate in your favorite hobby.
what's that?
Let the card tell us if it's safe for me to use this ritual to communicate.
Fine.
I mean, worst that can happen is we wouldn't know.
Fine. I suppose it's an easy enough task that I can use. Though, I suppose the question is more like he seemed to be interested in like that communication with the dead one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming he's not that interested in the other one, maybe. So,
The New York one?
no, like you guys communicating with Liliana or something. Or just in general.
Well, because that's just observation on like extent of it.
Either way, it could be also that he's able to detect communication happening, but not know the content.
Also true.
And I'd assume that would be the case because of like lack of awareness.
As you have told me last week, make sure to use the safest communication possible.
Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 3 successes to divine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 successes to interpret. So, 3 questions, Miguel. First, can the person detect the content of communication?
Okay, so you draw a card for this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna be drawing 3 cards or something.
You draw the Wheel of Fortune, though the sense feels much more like chance rather than cycles in repetition.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is all like communication using this abyssal method detectable to the guy? Like, as in, like, the communication is happening.
Is all of it?
Yeah, like, can he detect, like, any?
Can he detect the fucking signal, or can he decipher it?
No. The
Yes.
decipher one I asked, no, like, as in, like,
Okay.
can he access, like, basically, does he have access to any communication? Like, can he, like, detect it happening?
You draw the hermit upright.
Wait, let me first check before you consider my next question. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Mm. It says a little. And is this a communication method secure to use? In general. And given the fact that the first card was chance, she'd actually shuffle both back in.
Okay. Once more, you draw the Wheel of Fortune.
Well, can't read all of it. Some of it. Contents. As for whether he can, I guess, like, he has to concentrate on it. I don't know, maybe. It's the Hermit card, so to say. But basically, as with the deciphering, it depends on the chance or, like, nature of it. And given Big M's reaction to the things I shared to them, it's probably a personal acquaintance.
Yeah.
And not somebody of La Zombre clan or something like that. Because he'd know what the rock was. And given Olivia's reaction, I guess he has a hint or hunch, but also not actually due to that, but because she stopped and she went back. So it's either another auntie or someone close to them.
So, fourth gen.
I don't know anyone who can, like, lower generation at will.
So, we're looking downwards then.
And Serena just like it's like it looks to her as if like she's like looking into the abyss, and she's like, well, if you're going down from the third, we don't really have many options, do we?
What? 4? 3?
No, I meant if you're going lower in generation.
Yeah. The entirety of second generation. No. If
Supposedly
memory
dead.
serves right, one of them was, and they're supposedly dead. Then there's one. And apparently God.
Serena actually just like takes out her phone. By the way, actually, Miguel, ST question. Would Serena be familiar with rumors that Cain learned his disciplines from Lilith?
Unfortunately, you don't have that fragment of the Book of Enoch.
He had mine fragment of Book of Nod, but we didn't even discuss it after she started translating.
Book of Nod. I misspoke. But yes,
Yeah.
you don't have that fragment, so unfortunately, no.
Okay. Well, our only hint is like red-headed woman with the garden. I mean,
out of character, did you tell Jack about the flower?
yeah, she did.
Flower from underneath the earth is also like furious.
Well,
I
given that
don't
we
really
have,
know much about vampires and flowers in one context, but you
well,
probably do.
I mean, not particularly from what I know about the mystics. I mean, if we just go by the fucking whole ancient lore of the Jewish tribes, there is one who is a civil, who is related with a garden and like traditionally portrayed with very red hair, and that's Lilith. But that's like, I don't know any myth like about her. Like, I don't know if like she's like,
Well, if you really need, Jack will just pull up his phone and still take some water out of it and just Google Lilith Jewish stories.
no, Lilith, like, that's the point. Iris says there is the mortal mythology that's connected to Adam, Cain, and like the whole fucking shenanigans.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know if that's like that's like the only garden like thing in like the whole like that myth. But that's, she has no confirmation that it's connected to vampiric lore.
So as you have this discussion and are about to do some research, Jasper exits the room and joins you in the living room.
Well, Serena actually is going to like use the opportunity to go to check on Olivia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Jack will just read up on Lilith, I guess.
Okay.
Also,
So-
I'll message. Yeah, I'll message Ryder like.
Yeah,
Do you
actually,
have anything on Lilith?
actually, we never like checked if Strider has any Book of Knot fragments.
Supposedly he does. So yeah, I'll message him. Do you have anything on Lilith in your collection?
A response comes back. Which specific Lilith?
Fuck it. Book of Nod.
You get a date during the week and a time.
Yeah.
I assume like this happens while Serena is leaving.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
As
He
Serena
might have something on Lilith.
In terms of vampire lore and
in terms
history.
of Book of Nod.
Okay.
As Serena's leaving, Jasper looks to Jack. Jack, I'm in need of more knowledge. And someone that has a lot of knowledge is someone that's also perhaps a pain in their shoe. I think that's the term. So I wanted your view of how we could get such knowledge, since you are of
Well, kinda the same way I got some of my books. You eat the owner, and you become the owner.
I see. That is quite well, that is the easier option, which I would prefer also, but if I'm not mistaken from what I remember, you are currently the eldest of the La Sombra clan in the city.
Sounds about right.
And the current books that I wish to inquire is from someone of your blood. Well, kind of.
Yeah.
I wanted to know how you
I
want.
vividly remember this someone threatening me, so
Mm-hmm. And
we can't let that fly, can't we?
well, it is your option. You are the quote unquote boss of your clan in the city as of now. I am
The
just here
clan's
to
not
speak with
big
you
though.
because I want that knowledge. And I wanted to see how you wish for
Well,
deal
there
with.
are two ways. One of which would require you or somebody else or me to bloodbound a creature who cannot be bloodbound.
Hmm. The second option is
The second option is not killing when useful or necessary. In terms of which it's both right now.
I say I let you think of how you wish to deal
If
with
you
this.
know a method to bloodbond someone who cannot be, we can go with this one.
I think
Or
it's most
I
safest.
can reclaim some blood back in it.
I think that is also a safer option.
Yeah.
Whichever you find preference, I am more than happy to help you help me help yourself.
uh, yeah, there's a way to say it. Yeah. Just give me a bit of prep time.
Of course.
Right.
And Jasper would take a look at Larry, remembering his discomfort about Jasper killing people.
Yeah, the humanity.
Is Larry going to say anything as he stares into Larry?
I suppose Larry just stares back menacingly.
He unmuted himself, so he might say something.
Since
Come on,
there's
big
no
guy.
against the idea, Jack, feel free to get ready.
I feel like, well, you do you, Jasper.
As he rolls his eyes away and turns his head not to look at Jasper.
Does he look uncomfortable with us killing someone?
Alex?
You could sense that in his emotions with that bitch ass power you got.
No,
Only
I
reveals
only can
lies.
sense the truth.
Hmm.
If you speak lies, I only can.
Okay, okay.
Well, I can read your aura. Gonna give me a good practice.
I do
Anyway,
feel very comfortable with you killing
Someone says Larry, and Jack immediately feels lies.
If Jack
Yeah,
checks, yes.
yeah.
But nah,
Well, don't
if
worry.
anyway,
if for
Jack,
real, Larry seems uncomfortable.
Don't worry, we have
Whenever
to be present.
you feel ready, Jack,
I know.
just call me. And Jasper would make his way to his room when he suddenly stops. And seeing a little bit of where he was rebirthed, the moss, the mold, he grabs a little bit to himself and starts bringing it back to his room.
Mm-hmm. And with that small detail, we'll end the session here. Serena will see how the interaction with Olivia goes in private chat. And yeah, join us next week for the next episode of Beyond Armageddon. And thank you very much for watching. Have a good night.
Around.